because of the totality of the woman's mind, her version of sex is not just limited to one physical act. Her experience, her sexual experience, and I say sexual experience because I'm comparing it to a guy, for him, physical acts of sex are very important. If you go too long without sex, the woman's going to become pretty unattractive. But see, with women, their sex is different. How they have sex is not through actual sex per se. Sure, that's one of the ways. But see, women are, their mind and their life experience is one in totality, whereas a man, it's broken up into sections. So he can be happy in other areas of life and sad in one area, or he can, vice versa. But a woman's either going to be happy or sad. And one bad area of her life will ruin the whole life. So what is sex for a woman? Sex for a woman is anytime a man gives her something. That's why you shouldn't feel bad about giving a woman any of your resources. She's not being a vampire any more than you're being a vampire by wanting to have sex with her and her satisfying you sexually. Is the day ever going to come whenever you no longer want to have sex with her? No, it's a reoccurring, endless black hole. Well, the same is going to be true for women in their need of resources from you. But don't look at that as a bad thing. It's a good thing because that's her version of sex. The more sex you give her, the happier she'll be. So there is a return. There is a reward. Now you might be thinking, well, MK, I don't have, a lot of money, so I can't just give a girl all this money so that she can always be happy with me. Well, the good news is, when it comes to giving a woman something, when she acquires something from a man, it doesn't have to be just money. It doesn't even really have to be physical things. It can be compliments. It can be emotional support. It can be doing the dishes for her, or some other kind of act of service. It can be money. It can be $100 to get her some new shoes, or maybe if she likes expensive shoes, be a little bit more. But see, the point is, just like a guy, a big part of his relationship is actual sex, and he can't really go too many days without it. He pretty much might want it, depending on the guy, he might want it multiple times a day, or he might want it once a day, or he might want it once every 2 days, or so on and so forth. It depends on the guy. Well, the same is true with a woman. Her sex, though, is different. Her sex is what she receives from the guy. So if it's compliments, if it's physical things, if it's direction, even things like giving a woman direction or like advice, that benefits her. That it's anything that you can give her that she sees a benefit in, that adds life to her. The more you can do this, it's like a woman being really good at sex for a man. It's like she's a super hot and is just banging you every day, doing all the best positions, giving the best blowjobs. That's what it's like for her when a man knows how to give things to her and benefit her life. That is her sex. That's what's going to keep her in a relationship. She's not being a vampire by sucking resources out of you. She's different than a man. If a man was doing that from you, yeah, you would be like, oh man, this guy's, but when it comes to women, their minds are focused on, they're resource minded, and really that's a feminine trait, because females are dependent on receiving. That's what females do. They receive. It's the masculine aspect that gives. So don't hold back. Don't feel like you're being taken advantage of when you provide things for your woman. Don't feel like you're getting things sucked out of you, because what you're doing is you are basically having sex with her in her mind every day, all day, and you're always going to see a return from that. If you don't see a return from that, if you don't see any kind of rewards, well, it's because she's mentally blocking you. And of course, that's for another recording. But see, a woman, in order to mentally block you, she has to consciously do that. And that's going to be a rare situation. The situation is possible, but it's not the common situation. That's the exception. But the exception doesn't swallow up, the primary reality.